What we are going to do now is parallelism. And don't worry about subject verb agreement. Subject verb agreement, how much ever you study, till you don't do the question, you will not understand it. It's a straight away proportional how you solve the question. But these are the normal thing that you should know, that with respect to subject, you have to take a verb. If you are taking a singular subject, take a singular verb. If you are taking a plural subject, take a plural verb. That's it. Now come down to a parallelism.
I have one doubt, Rahul.
Yes, please tell me.
You have told in previous sentence that if there is the only one in that sentence,
The
we would
only one,
use
the
singular,
only one, the only
the
one.
only.
Yeah.
So, is there any other exception other than this one?
No, 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 absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely no exceptions at all. Kailash.
okay.
So now come down to parallelism. Now, before we go to the actual parallelism, that is noun. I'll come down to parallelism, but before we get into this, let's understand the uses of word that. So, guys, there are some words which are very important, like that, which. You should understand when should you use that. You should understand when should you use which. So let's understand, before we get into the parallelism, let's understand uses of word that. Now, please, according to my observations, all I can tell you, it would sound very rude in listening if I say you ki that is only used in 3 ways in GMAT. So I would not commit to that statement. But as per my observation, I can tell you that in GMAT is used in mostly in 3 ways. I would say in majority of cases. And you have to understand these 3 ways very properly. That in GMAT is used mostly in 3 ways. I'm not making a statement, guys, it is only used in 3 ways. Please understand. Mostly, majority of time, it is used in 3 ways. It will be very clear to you how it is used. The first usage of that is that can be used as a pronoun. If that is used as a pronoun, what would happen? Tell me. It should have a very clear antecedent. Simple logic. What do you mean by antecedent? It should have a very clear reference point to what noun it is referring to. I think I'm being very clear over here. Any pronoun. What is the definition of a pronoun in this world? That it should refer back to a noun. That's it. Now, whatever types of pronoun you come and bring front of me, that doesn't matter at all. You can say auxiliary pronoun, you can say possessive pronoun. There are 1000 types of a pronoun. That doesn't matter. What is the normal definition of a pronoun? That it should go back to a noun. So please ensure. Imagine when I say that Rahul and Rohit is moving in the park and he seems to be very smart. Now, please understand, Rohit can be a friend of yours. You are trying to say that Rohit seems to be very smart. But if you say he seems to be very smart, what is he referring to? There is a Rahul also eligible noun for he. So you cannot write a pronoun blindly. When you write a pronoun in the sentence, 100% ensure that there should be a very clear reference point given to that pronoun so that any third person reads your sentence, he should understand what that pronoun is referring to. You simply can't insert pronoun in the sentence. From now onwards, whenever you write a sentence, try your best not to use pronoun at all. Absolutely don't use till it is required. So when that is used as a pronoun, there should be a very clear antecedent. It simple means to what noun it is referring to. It's referring to. The second usage of that is, guys, that can be followed by a reporting verb. That can be followed by a reporting verb. Now, please don't understand what is reporting. You don't have to understand what is reporting verb. You just understand that is followed by a verb. I'll come down to this point. What is reporting verb? If that is followed by a reporting verb, that and that parallelism in the sentence is compulsory. What do you mean by that and that parallelism? Any one of you? What does it mean, that and that parallelism? It simple means in a very normal sentence that every clause in a sentence should start with that. That and that parallelism simple means every clause in a sentence should start with that. Now, what exactly this means? I'll explain it. But before we get into this, can you please tell me what is the difference between clause and sentence? Anyone? Please tell. You don't worry about it. It's wrong, right? Doesn't matter at all. Just tell.
Clause can be a part of the sentence.
Good, but a very
within the
diplomatic answer, I would say.
within the commas, for example, like we were seeing the examples.
No, you're being very diplomatic. You're not telling the right thing.
A clause has a subject and a verb.
Brilliant. A clause has a subject and a verb. A sentence has a subject and a verb. So when I say Rahul is a good boy, this is one sentence. This is just one sentence. Rahul is a subject, this is a verb. A sentence can't be a sentence without a subject and a verb. A clause can't be a clause without a subject and a verb. So the difference is what? When I say Rahul is a good boy, I put a full stop, this is one sentence. But when I say Rahul is a good boy, and he's a hardworking guy. He's a hardworking guy. Now this is one sentence with two clauses. So the difference is only there could be a multiple clause in a sentence, but every clause and every sentence would have its own subject and a verb for sure. When you say Rahul is a good guy, you put a full stop, this is one sentence. But when you say Rahul is a good boy and he's a hardworking guy, it means that this is one sentence with two clauses and every clause will have its own subject and a verb. Rahul is a subject over here. Age is a verb. He is a subject over here. Is a verb. No doubt he is going back to Rahul itself. That's a separate thing. But in this clause, he is a subject. And he is nothing but it is denoting to Rahul. Because you can't write a sentence, Rahul is a good guy and Rahul is a hardworking guy. Is that a right sentence or a wrong sentence? If you write a sentence, Rahul is a good guy and Rahul is a hardworking guy, tell me, is this a right sentence or a wrong sentence?
Wrong.
Why? Because there is a redundancy. That's the reason there is a pronoun introduced in the math, in the verbal part, that you have to use this because it creates a redundancy in the statement. You are using one noun twice, which makes no sense. You should never do that. If you are writing this entire sentence, if you are writing this entire description about Rahul in one sentence, you cannot use Rahul twice. It should come just once. Rahul is a good guy and he's a hardworking guy. If you use in place of he Rahul in the sentence, it will be wrong because it creates a redundancy in the sentence. Simple logic. So I hope it's very clear what is clause and what is sentence. There could be a multiple clause in one sentence. When you say Rahul is a good guy, comma, he's a hardworking guy, and he's a very smart guy. So this is one sentence with three clauses, and all the clause have its own subject and a verb. And sentence is just one, like it will have 100%, it will have its own subject and a verb. Just put a full stop, it becomes a sentence. So there could be a multiple clause in one sentence. Now, I've told you if that is followed by a reporting verb, that and that parallelism is compulsory. What does this mean? This simple means that every clause in a sentence should start with that. Now, what exactly does this mean? Let's come down to question number 11. Question number 10, guys, we'll do after we are done with question number 20, from 11 to 20. Because if I explain you now, it will take me 20 minutes. And if I explain you after question number 20, it will take me 20 seconds. Simple logic. So let's first have the basics very well, and then we'll come to question number 10. So question number 11 says, he said that the college restricted him and his future was bleak. And I have not told you the third uses of that, which I'll come to later. So right now we are learning the second uses of that. That is followed by a reporting verb, and that can act as a pronoun. The third uses of that, I'll come down to that after question number 20. So let's understand the second uses of that. Imagine when I say he said that, when you look into this that, first thing, is this a pronoun? Your first thought process should be this, because we have read two uses of that. I've told you that can be used as a pronoun. And the second uses I've told you that can be followed by a reporting verb. So when you confront here with that, he said that, what is your first job? To think that is this a pronoun or not? If at all it is a pronoun, what it is referring back to? He. There is only one subject. So he said the college restricted him. Do you think it makes any sense to you? Do you think that is a pronoun over here? Please tell me. Because if this is a pronoun, it will refer back to he. And when you read the sentence, he said the college restricted him, would make no sense at all, right? Any doubt over here?
No.
That is not a pronoun. Perfect. Now the first uses of that is gone. Now that is not a pronoun. Now let's see. He said that. What is said? Said is a verb, right? Imagine this is a reporting verb. I'll come down to your question, Rahul. How do you know that this is a reporting verb? You are not supposed to remember anything. Absolutely nothing. You will get to know. Right now, just assume that this is a reporting verb. So he said that. Now that is followed by a reporting verb. I understand your question. You will 100%, you will be asking me, Rahul, how the hell did you know that said is a reporting verb? I'm telling you right now, consider this is a reporting verb. That's it. I'll come down to the point how it is a reporting verb. So he said that the college rusticated him. And after, now you know that this that is not a pronoun. You know that this that is followed by a reporting verb. Now after and there is a second clause, right? Don't you feel this clause should start with that? What I've told you, that and that parallelism. If the that is followed by reporting verb, that and that parallelism in the sentence should be maintained. And what do you mean by that and that parallelism? That every clause in a sentence should start with that. Now there are two clauses. He said that the first that is followed by reporting verb. After and the second clause is starting. So this clause should start with that. He said that the college had rusticated him and that his future was bleak. Is this clear? Please tell me. Someone who didn't get it. Induja, Shreya.
Clear, clear. Yeah.
Anyone, any problem? Ulash, Abhishek? Jay,
No,
any
Rahul,
problem?
clear.
It's clear.
Perfect. Now see here, he said that. Now I know that this said is a reporting verb. I'll explain you how it is a reporting verb. So if the first that is followed by reporting verb, that and that parallelism in the sentence is compulsory. And that then that parallelism is this clause should start with that. Now imagine there is fortunately two clauses. There could be three clauses also. Imagine I remove this and then I put a comma. He said that college had rusticated him, that his future was bleak, and that he gonna have a disaster time in his career. What disaster time? In fact, all the college dropouts are world famous guys. He may have a very fulfilling time in his career also. So I don't know whether he'll have a disaster time or a fulfilling time, but I'm trying to create a three clause over here. And all the clause should start with that if the first that is followed by a reporting verb. So I'm telling you, consider said is a reporting verb. So when you say he said that the college rusticated him, comma, that his future was bleak, and that he gonna have a disaster or fulfilling time in his career. I hope it's very clear. Fortunately, there are two clauses over here. So you say and that directly, that's it. But there could be three clauses, there could be four clauses, and all the clause should start with that. So this sentence tests you on that and that parallelism. For any reporting verb, such as said, find, reported, prove, you don't worry about this. I'm telling you, you don't have to remember anything. I'll come down to the point. For any reporting verb, the following is the rule on GMAT. The reporting verb is followed by word that. The that can be called as a clause introducer. Clause introducer means every clause in a sentence should start with that. The word that is repeated with every clause. Now, guys, look into the correction of the sentence. It says, he said that college had rusticated him. Now, there is one thing more wrong, had rusticated. We will read about this had rusticated even after question number 20, because we'll be doing verbs, we'll be doing tenses over there. But I'll explain to you now also. See here, you can't simply write a statement, he said that the college rusticated him. This is wrong. 100% wrong. 1000% wrong. You should never ever write such sentences at all. What should you be writing? He said that college had rusticated him. Now, please understand why you use had over here. Please understand, guys, past perfect tense. Past perfect tense is nothing but had plus third form of the verb. Do not confuse with only had. You can come and tell me, Rahul, I had my breakfast. So when you had your breakfast, it is simple past. You started and you finished it, and you are sitting in the class now. So when you say had alone is always a simple past. Had plus third form of the verb is past perfect. The point is, when do you use had plus third form of the verb? When do you use this in the sentence? Please understand, there should be two events in the sentence. If in a sentence there are two actions or two events, whatever you say, and both are the past action, then the action that happens earlier and the action that happens later. So action that happens earlier, you will use had plus third form of the verb. And action that happens later, you will use simple past with it. Now I'll just explain you. When you say the sentence, he said that. Tell me, he said is one action or not? College rusticated him is one action or not? In one clause, there should be two actions. Listen to this. When you write this sentence, he said that the college rusticated. Understand, please, are you using two action in one clause or not? He said is one action, college rusticated is one action. Now tell me which must have happened before. College rustication might have happened before and then only he must have said. So the action that happens before, you will use had plus third form of the verb. We'll read this again after question number 20, because that's the place we'll be discussing tenses. and you will have a great clarity as to how you use past perfect tense. There are only two ways to use past perfect tense. One is this: when there are two actions involved in a clause, the action that happens earlier, use had plus third form. Had plus third form is called past perfect. Had alone is always a simple past. So action that happens earlier, use had plus third form. Action that happens later, use just a simple past. He said. Now imagine they have given you a sentence to explain you what is past perfect. The teacher came to know that John had cheated in the test. Now, don't you feel there are two actions involved here? John cheat is one action. Teacher came to know is other action. Am I being very clear over here? So here there are two actions in the past. John cheated, which is an earlier event. Teacher came to know, that's a later event. There's a clear time difference between these two events. In this situation, the event happening earlier is written in had plus third form of the verb, and the event happening later is written in the simple past. And this sentence is absolutely correct because the teacher came to know that John had cheated. Had cheated is perfectly fine because there are two actions. Teacher is coming to know and John is cheating. John must have cheated before, then teacher came to know. I hope I made some sense. Anyone, any doubt over here in past perfect? And we'll discuss this again after question number 20 when we are discussing tenses and all. Anyone, any problem?
No doubt, no doubt.
So now come down to the actuals. Now I hope this is very clear. He said that the college had restricted him and that his future was bleak. So this had is extremely important, and the second clause should start with that. Simple logic, nothing to worry about. Now let's come down to, now this is, guys, one of the most important statement of this book. Will come down to this, don't worry. Now let's look into the other statement. It says that the scientist proved that. Now, moment you confront this that, first tell me, is this that a pronoun? Think about this. Because if at all this is a pronoun, this will go back to the scientist. The scientist proved, the scientist, the research needed a new investment makes no sense at all, right? I hope I'm making a full sense. Now, if at all you understand this, that is not a pronoun, but it is followed by some sort of a verb called prove. Please understand right now that it's a reporting verb. I'll come down to the point. You don't have to remember how it is a reporting verb, how it's a futuristic verb, how it's a main verb. Don't worry, everything will be clear. But right now you just assume that this is a reporting verb. Understand, feel that this is a reporting verb. So now you understand that this, that is not a pronoun. You understand that this is followed by some sort of a reporting verb. But it's followed by a reporting verb. So what is your conclusion in your head? That and that parallelism is important. And what is that and that parallelism? That every clause in a sentence should start with that. So when I say the scientist proved that the research needed a new investment, but after but there is a second clause that is starting, but that he would not like federal intervention. So this sentence is absolutely 100% fine. Please check if anyone has any doubt. Now there's a bit of caution that you have to take care of. What it says, if the word that is used as a pronoun, that and that parallelism is not required. Now they have given you example, countries that invest. Now what is this that? This that is 100% a pronoun which is referring back to a country. So country that invest heavily in military, and that is not required over here. That and that parallelism will only be followed when the first that is followed by a reporting verb. If that is acting as a pronoun, that and that parallelism is absolutely not required in the sentence. Is this making a complete sense? Anyone? I'll come down to the reporting verb. What's there in your head? But before we come down, there are 3 questions that you need to solve. You can take 6 to 7 minutes for it. So you have to solve question number 7, whatever, and please solve. Solve, get your answer. Try question number 7 first, then try 6, and then try 5. First 7, then 6, then 5. The uses of that will be very clear, I promise you. I'll explain it to you in great detail, but before that, take 6 minutes. I'm not speaking anything. Please try. Always remember, option number A is exactly the same as underlined part. If you feel option number A, if you feel that actual sentence is right, choose option number A as an answer. If you feel it is not right, choose whatever you wish. So in all the sentence correction question, option number A is exactly same as the underlined part. If you feel the actual sentence is right, choose A as an answer, else choose any one. So please try, it's 11:32. I'll ping you at 11:38 or 39. Perfect. So what's the answer? 5C. Perfect. Let's come down to question number 7. I hope everyone is done, right? Or someone is doing still. So let's come down to question number 7. So in sentence correction, because guys, without solving question, it is very hard to understand the concept. Trust me. Till you don't know how to solve question, it will be very hard for you to even understand theory. So the first thing in sentence correction is never read only non-underlined part. That will be a recipe to disaster. You have to read the entire sentence very properly. So when I read this entire sentence, however, I'm solving question number 7. However much United States voters may agree that there is a waste in government and that. So first of all, when I come down to this, that however much United States voters may agree that. Your first check is this that a pronoun or not? If at all this is a pronoun, this will go to United States voters. In fact, United States is an adjective for voters, but leave that now. So it will go to United States voters. Now imagine, read the sentence. However much United States voters may agree, United States voters, there is a waste in government. Makes no sense at all. So this that is not a pronoun at all. Be very sure about it. Now, if this is not a pronoun, I know that this is followed by some sort of a verb. Check here. Now, however much United States voters may agree that this is followed by some sort of a verb. Let it be now. Now read the next part of the sentence. That there is a waste in government and that. Understand that second clause starts with that. What does this mean? This 100% means that now they are testing you on that and that parallelism. So looking into the structure of sentence, now you can come down and conclude that verb is agree is a reporting verb. So there is no way for you to remember that these are reporting verb, these are futuristic verb, these are this verb, that verb. No, the structure of the question should be looked upon. The second clause starts here with that. So this that is compulsory over here. And now I come down to a conclusion that agree is a reporting verb. So here is this that and here is this that. So I can straight away say BCD is wrong. Anyone who has marked BCD? Now come down to option number A and option number E. Now between A and E, tell me, is this E followed by a reporting verb? Is this that followed by a reporting verb? Look into option number E. This is not followed by a reporting verb. This is not in fact followed by a verb at all. This is followed by a noun. So how can I say this will be a right one? No, absolutely no. Moreover, in option number E, when you look into the statement, what you feel? Don't you feel that you are trying to change the intended meaning of the sentence? However much United States voters may agree. The sentence is may agree. You are trying to say there is an agreement among United States voters. So you are trying to change the intended meaning of the sentence also. What could be the third reasoning of this? For third reasoning, you will have to read the entire sentence. It says, however much United States voters may agree that there is a waste in government and that government as a whole, it is difficult to find a broad support. Now imagine, voters are agreeing also and they are finding it difficult to support also. Don't you feel there is a contrast in the statement when you say, Rahul is a good guy and he is a naughty guy? Do you feel this is the right sentence? If you write a sentence, Rahul is a good guy and he is a stupid guy and he is stupid. Do you think this is the right sentence? Yes or no? Please tell. Anyone? Gauri, Savneet, Akansha?
No, it's contrasting. There should be a but here.
Absolutely. Because you are trying to write a contrast. You are trying to say something good about someone and then you are trying to say something bad about someone. You can't use and, you have to use a contrast word, but for sure. So when you look into this statement, voters are agreeing also and they're finding it difficult to support also. It means that there should be a contrast word in the statement and contrast word is however much. A lot of people say me, Rahul, how can you relate however much to United States voters? Because this is countable and much is not countable, but this is not a relation. This is called a contrast word. A lot of us say how much ever, but that's wrong. However much is the right one. So there's a contrast word that is required over here. What could be the last form? This is the third reason. The last reason to eliminate E is something which is called Van pattern. Now I will discuss this pattern when we are doing the questions. Don't worry. Last but not the least that you can eliminate E for a reason is Van pattern. What do you mean by Van pattern? Van Patten says that if a word is used as a verb, the same word is used as an adjective, the same word is used as a noun, you always prefer the verb form of that word. Simple logic. What is agree over here? Agree is a verb. What is agreement? It's a noun. So prefer A. This is the straightforward answer. This is 90% right. I'm telling you 90% because I don't want to say 100%. There are some questions where Van Patten does not apply there, but it doesn't apply because of some stupid reason. But you can 100% understand that this is a very powerful tool when you are stuck between two options and all. Verb forms are always and always preferred. But these are the things that we'll discuss when we do the question. Till you don't see the question, it will be very hard for you to understand. Now, in question number 7, what?
Shouldn't
Yeah.
E would also be not the correct answer because it should have been there as an agreement? Is it too like?
You can say that. You can say that.
Yeah, no?
Yeah. Come down to question number 6. Now, in question number 7, what happened? That and that parallelism is being tested. And guys, be very sure. GMAT verbal is the most standard exam of verbal that you are giving in the world. It will never happen that they give you that and that parallelism and they say you that is not the answer. This is not some stupid exam. Be very sure about it. Absolutely, it will never ever happen. If they are giving you that and that parallelism, it means the answer will come from that and that parallelism itself. It is not that they have kept you that and that parallelism and they are saying, okay, A will not be the answer. Exam will not be desperately made some altu-faltu stuffs. No, it is one of the most standard exam of verbal that you are giving in this world. Question number 6, come down to question number 6. In question number 7, that is being followed by a reporting verb. So that and that parallelism is being tested. Now, I hope you understand what is a reporting verb. You are not supposed to remember what is a reporting verb. Your entire job is to look into the structure of statement. If the question is testing you on that and that parallelism, first that is followed by some sort of a verb. It by default means that this is a reporting. Simple logic. Now come down to question number 6. With its plan to develop a 7.5 acre of solar land. So this is all crap. This is a modifier. Cleveland is but one of the large number of communities on a Great Lake that. Now, what is this that, by the way? This that is a pronoun, right? And what it is referring back to? It is referring back to communities. Because it is communities who can look into the waterfront. Please understand, it is not Cleveland. Cleveland must take Delhi, let's say. Delhi is but one of the large number of communities that is looking. You can't say Delhi is looking into the waterfront. That's crap. Communities in Delhi can 100% look into the waterfront. But Delhi can't look into the waterfront. So communities on a Great Lake that is looking to the waterfront. So that is wrong because communities is a plural form. So is gone. Now I'm left with C, D, and E. Now look into what is C, D, and E. C says are looking to their waterfront. D says are looking to its waterfront. E says are looking to their waterfront. So R and it says 100% wrong over here. Makes no sense at all. Subject verb agreement error. You can't say are and its. It has to be are and there. You have to scan the answer choices, guys. Like, there are a lot of things that when we need to look when we do the questions. So after 2 class like today and next week class, we'll be discussing with the theory and the 3 classes will be solving 100 questions. So that's the place where I'll clear it everything that how you use your theory while you are doing the question. So R its is a subject verb agreement error. You can remove it. So there is also a way that you need to scan the answer choices. Like what did I do? I saw here it is R and there. I saw here it is R and its. I saw it is R and there. Please understand differences between the options are created for a reason. And until you don't scan the answer choices, until you don't understand the differences between two options, trust me, it will be very, very hard to understand why something is right or why something is wrong. So it is our job when we are doing any sentence correction problem that always keep scanning the answer choices. When you scan the answer choices, you get to understand the differences between option. And when you understand differences between option, your mind automatically starts working. But if you look into option number A alone, option number B alone, it will be very tough. It will be very, very tough. Now I can, for a simple reason, I can eliminate option number D. Now come down to C and E. Are looking to their waterfronts, are looking to their waterfront. This is fine. Now when I read C, are looking to their waterfronts to improve the quality of urban life and attract new businesses. E says are looking to the waterfront as a way they can improve. Now this is 100% wordy statement. When a statement can be so clearly written, are looking to their waterfront to improve the quality of urban life and attract new businesses. Why the hell you want to introduce again another sort of a pronoun? Don't simply insert a pronoun in the statement. If a sentence can be written without a pronoun, please believe on it and write it. So this is called wordy statement, and wordy statements are also 100% wrong. So see the straightforward answer. Now come down to question number 5. So here that is being used.
Rahul, one
Yep,
question
yep.
I have.
Please tell me.
Yeah. So instead of Cleveland,
Yeah.
let's say I put a name of a community. Okay.
Hmm.
I remove
But again,
Cleveland. I
when you
put a
say,
name of
but when you say community is one of the large number of communities.
right.
on
But
the
the
waterfront.
usage of word but doesn't it
Yeah.
segregate this community from the other communities?
No, but you are telling in a different context over here, Arun. It says here ki Delhi, matlab that sentence, what you are trying to say will be framed in a very different way. What you are trying to say. Here they are trying to Delhi is, like let's say Delhi is, but one of the large number of communities. So they are trying to say that Delhi is nothing but a group of a large number of communities who lives in Delhi. So what you are trying to say that if you are trying to write directly a community, the framing of sentence will be very different.
Okay.
Understood?
No, I'm just asking. Let's
Yeah.
say if that is the case, then in that case, that which now currently refers to the communities.
Hmm.
So if I put instead of Cleveland a community there, then in that case, what would that refer to?
It will still refer to communities only because this is a relative pronoun which is going back to communities and it is trying to give you the action of communities that communities will look into the waterfront. Because that is a relative pronoun over here, Naren.
I understood that, but okay.
So you have to understand that what is the clause that follows that, right? It says that is looking into the waterfront. So someone will be looking into the waterfront for sure. Agreed? What you are trying to say, I understand. You are trying to say some communities, but you think no, some communities is but one of the large number of communities that would make no sense at all, Haran. The entire framing of a sentence will be different.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Now come down to question number 5. Come again. So in question number 7, that and that parallelism is being used. In question number 5, that is acting as a pronoun. Now look into question number 5. The company announced that. Moment I come to this, that my first check that is this that a pronoun, yes or no. If at all this is a pronoun, what it is going back to, there is only one subject, company. The company announced the company, its profit decline, bullshit, crap. So this that is not a pronoun. Anyone, any problem over here? This is not a pronoun at all. But if it is not a pronoun, this is followed by some sort of a verb. Let's see. Now let's read the entire sentence. The company announced that its profit declined much less in the second quarter than analysts had expected it to, and its business will improve. Now, when I see this, and its business will improve, this is the underlined part. So I see here and its business, I see and that its business, I see and that its business, I see and that its business. It means 100% this question is testing you on that and that parallelism. Be very sure this is one of the most standard exam of the world. It will never happen. They give you that and that parallelism and they'll say you that answer is wrong. So you can close your eyes and mark answer A wrong and answer D wrong. Because in BCE, there is a that and that parallelism which is being tested. Now I can come down to a conclusion that announced is a reporting verb. So please understand, it is not your job to remember what a reporting verb. Your job is to look into the structure of a statement very, very properly. Now I can come down to 100% a conclusion ki announced is a reporting verb. And if it is a reporting verb, that and that parallelism is being tested in the sentence. Simple logic. Now we are left to B, we are left to C, we are left to E. Now what we need to do? We need to scan between B, C, and E. So when you scan between B, C, and E, B says had expected, C says expected, E says expected. Now, moment you see had expected past perfect tense, what I have told you, you have to think that there are two actions in the clause or not. If there are two actions, there is some earlier action and there is some later action. And if there is any had expected means what? It should be the earlier action for sure, if this sentence is right. Now let's understand what are those two actions. The company announced this is one action and company had expected this is another action. So obviously until you don't have expectations, you create a vision for your company. Your vision is nothing but your expectations from the company. And then you go and announce between your colleagues or your teammates whatsoever. So first had expected must have happened and then announcement must have happened. So this is the earlier action. So had expected is required over here. You can't say expected and expected. So guys, please understand, a lot of people do what moment they see had expected, had plus third form, they start thinking what are the two actions in the past. And they start again thinking which must have happened before, which must have happened later. But this is not your job now. You know this is had expected. It means that there are two actions. And if at all there are two actions, first action must have been had expected for sure. Because if this is not the first action, then the sentence is wrong. So think from the perspective that this must have happened before, and then is there any other action which has happened after that or not? So company announced is one action, company expectation is one action. That's absolutely very clear. So B is the right answer.
Rahul, I have a doubt here.
Yes, please tell me.
So so it is written here that in the second quarter than analysts had expected.
Yeah.
Now this so we are talking, from respect of the company, right? The company announced its profit and then this happened. But this action is done by the analyst, right? Do we have to look like that, or it's just the two actions in the sentence?
Two actions in one clause. Yeah, it may be other. Like imagine the teacher came to know that John had cheated. So teacher came to know is a action from teacher. John cheated is action from John. It should be in one clause of it. That's it.
Okay.
That's all you have to say. It should be in one clause. And moreover, what could be the other part of what could be the other thing in this? Please remember, guys, future with respect to past in GMAT. Not in GMAT, in your normal life also. Always use would. Always. Never ever use will. You should never use future with respect to past. The company announced. So this is a past. And that its business will improve. This is crap. Business would improve. So C says will improve. This is also wrong. And E says it will improve. This is also wrong. So there is other pointer also that you can mark C and E wrong. Because imagine, like, if I say a sentence, Rahul said that Gauri will come to Bangalore next week. Rahul said that Gauri will come to Bangalore next week. This is a wrong statement because Rahul said is a past action. So I can't say Rahul said that Gauri will come. This is called direct speech, and GMAT does not never test you on direct speech at all. So if you have used said and you are trying to use something in future, it should be would. Rahul said that Gauri would come to Bangalore next week, not will come to Bangalore next week. So please be very sure, future with respect to past, always use would, never will at all. I hope that and that parallelism. So the word that I hope is clear when that is used as a pronoun. Just look for the antecedent to what it is referring to. And based on that, embellish your clause, write your clause, doesn't matter. But when that is followed by a reporting verb, you don't have to remember reporting verb. You have to look into the structure of sentence. When that is followed by a reporting verb, that and that parallelism is compulsory. That's a straightforward sentence. I hope it makes sense. Now, there is also a third use of that is followed by a futuristic verb. But we'll read after question number 20, or else it will be nothing but a ton of confusion over here. Is this making a complete sense? Anyone, any doubt till now? Because now we are going to start some very important part. It will be very interesting also, trust me. But anyone, any problem till now? Abhishek, Akansha, Purva, Avnit, Harendra, Induja?
No, all clues.
No
Shreya?
problem, sir. No problem.
Perfect.
No.
So let's do it now. So we'll do this last topic and then we'll stop. I don't want you to confuse. So now comes down to parallelism, guys, which is extremely important. I'm telling you one thing with a short guarantee. If your question number 10 to 20, you have a complete command in. Out of 12 questions of sentence correction, 9 questions will be done just from question number 10 to 20. I promise this I can guarantee you for. So my only request is to you, read question number 20 as many times as you can. You can hear to my explanation. That's a very different thing. You can look into the video. That's a very different thing. But there is no substitute of you reading and you understanding it. There is absolutely no substitute of that. And that is the best thing that will happen to you. And initially it might trouble you a bit, but when you understand it, it will be very entertaining stuff. Very entertaining. That I promise you. Keep reading question number 10 to 20 almost every 3-4 days once for sure. Someday you read 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. I'm not asking you to sit one day and read every week once question number 1 to 15. No, that will be a very boring for you. But please believe on this document. People have scored brilliant reading this document. This is a very powerful document of sentence correction. You will not have to go anywhere else at all. Or else you will read Manhattan book, you will read, there's just lots of books that are available. You don't require it at all. Just believe on this document. It's a very powerful one, I can tell you. Now come down to the parallelism, one of the most important topic that is for sentence correction, because there is not one single sentence where you don't use and or but. In a normal life, in a daily life, when you write an email, trust me, you look into your email, you will use 100,000 times every day and or but, every day. So parallelism simple means the word and or but. So the rule says that, the grammar says that whenever you write word and or but, the sentence should be parallel. Now, what do you mean by sentence should be parallel? It simple means a structure of sentence on left hand side of and or but should be equal to very same as structure of sentence on the right hand side of and or. Simple logic. Now, what exactly you mean by structure of sentence on the left hand side of and or but should be equal to structure of sentence on the right hand side of and or but? It simple means that if you have written and or but over here, if you have used noun on the left hand side, you should be using noun on the right hand side. Now, this is a place where things will be very clear to you. What is noun, what is adjective, what is verb. And this has to be clear if you want the accuracy in sentence correction to be very good one. If you are using noun on the left hand side of and or but, you should be using noun on the right hand side of and or but. If you are using adjective on the left hand side of and or but, you should be using adjective on the right hand side of and or but. If you are using verb on the left hand side of and or but, you should be using verb on the right hand side of and or but. If you're using a clause on the left hand side of and or but, you should be using clause on the right hand side. If you're using prepositional phrase on the left hand side, you should be using prepositional phrase on the right hand side. Simple logic of parallelism. That's it. But don't get into clause, prepositional phrase. If you understand noun, adjective, verb, rest all will be by default clear for you. So let's read with noun and noun parallelism. Let's start with noun and noun parallelism. It's a bit intense topic, guys. We'll go slow. But please, if there is any problem, just tell me. Don't keep anything in your head. So noun and noun parallelism means simple. There's a and, there's a or, there's a but. And if you are using on the left hand side noun of and or but, you should be using noun on the left hand side of and or but. But looks very simple and very easy in listening, but it can get very complicated. Now come down to the theory part. It says before reading question number 12 and 13, read the following note. But let's understand what is question number 12 and 13. That's also extremely important. 1 second, let me open the document. So come down to question number 12 and 13. See here. Then we'll go and read the theory part. It says the rebels demanded. When I read this sentence, the rebels demanded withdrawal whatsoever. Don't you feel that I feel that rebels is a main subject? And demanded is a main verb. Oh, there could be hundreds of noun in the sentence, hundreds of verb in the sentence. That doesn't matter to us at all. But the main subject is rebel, the main verb is demanded. Now, what the sentence is trying to say, the rebels demanded withdrawal of government forces from disobedient region, comma, significant reductions in overall troop level, comma, raising or the raising of rebel flag, and a general pardon. What is general pardon? Noun. What is and? Looks for a strict parallelism. Whenever you use and or but, your sentence should be strictly parallel. It looks for strict parallelism. Now, after and, what we have used? Noun. Raising is also noun. Raising off is also noun. Withdrawal is noun. Significant reductions in noun. Now, when I say you, the rebels demanded withdrawal of, I'm telling you this is noun. If anyone has any doubt what exactly withdrawal is to place, do you think it's an adjective? Do you think it's a verb? What exactly? Or do you feel it's a verb or what? What exactly you feel to it? Tell me. Are you 100% agreed that when I say withdrawal is a noun, it is a noun or not? Please tell. Nothing to worry about.
No, I think it's a verb.
Okay. Who is that?
It's action, I think the same. It's not the noun.
Okay.
If
But
you,
imagine,
sorry, if you just look at the verb separately out of context of the sentence, it's a verb.
imagine I write a sentence. No, please tell, because until you are not wrong, it will not happen at all. You have to say something. The withdrawal of army from Jammu and Kashmir is called for. Withdrawal of army from J&K is called for. Now, what is withdrawal over here? Don't you feel it's a main subject? We are talking about withdrawal of army. It's 100% a noun. And please understand, because see, till you don't ask, I'll not be able to say anything. You have to ask me, only then I can say you. But these
I
are the
still
things I'm
don't
saying in
agree
my list.
because if you're using that as a clause, it still becomes the verb part of the clause, right? Not the subject.
No, the withdrawal of army from Jammu and Kashmir is called for. This is verb. Got it? Not withdrawal of. Withdrawal is a subject. We are talking about withdrawal of army from Jammu and Kashmir.
But the withdrawal is the activity, right?
No,
You're
what
saying
is
the
it?
activity
No,
or the
no.
doing work.
Withdraw. No, withdraw is a verb, not withdrawal. Withdraw is a verb, not withdrawal. So a word can be used as a noun, it can be used as an adjective, the same word can be used as a verb. So I'm trying to say you, but think about here now, the withdrawal of army from Jammu and Kashmir is called for. Imagine if I remove withdrawal, so off army by default goes off because off army is nothing but a part of withdrawal. From Jammu and Kashmir is called for makes no sense at all. So this is the subject. And be one thing about very sure, because until you don't ask me, I'll not be able to tell you. So one thing,
I get it in this scenario, but I don't know how I'm going to spot it in another.
it will happen. It will happen slowly. But see, I'm telling you now it will happen forever. But believe, you have to believe on something for sure. You can't simply argue. See here. Always remember, if a word is being followed by a prepositional phrase, close your eyes and call this word as a noun. It does not matter to you that this word looks as a verb to you, this word looks as an adjective to you. You have to console your head that this word is a noun and think about how it is a noun. Don't think why it is not a noun. A prepositional phrase can never be associated with an adjective or a verb. It will always and always be associated with a noun, guys. So it's a very clear thing. When I say the withdrawal of, moment I see of, in and all, it by default means this is a noun. Avnit, Gauri, Avnit. Now you think about yourself. No, where you think about yourself, Gauri, like where you use prepositional phrase, you'll use only with a noun. The books of Rahul, the pen in the table, the pen is a noun. The books of Rahul, books is a noun. I understand withdrawal looks to be a verb, but withdrawal is not a verb. Withdraw as a word is a verb. Like imagine when I say split bills. Split bills, like where you might, a lot of you people might be very often going out with your friends and all. When I say split bill, what is split? Split is a verb. Split as a word can never be used as a noun. So to be used as a noun, you have to say the splitting of a bills. The splitting of bill is a good habit. You can't say split of bill is a good habit because split as a word is a verb.
Understood. Makes sense now.
Agreed? Perfect. Now see here, the rebels demanded withdrawal of army, comma, significant reductions in. Moment you see prepositional phrase, close your eyes and feel that reductions is a noun. Simple logic. Raising or the raising of, both are noun. And looks for a strict parallelism, general part in this is a noun. Now the question comes, it should be raising or it should be raising of. Tell me. Why we'll study this, but what exactly you people feel that it should be raising or the raising of? Farendra, Palash, Abhishek.
Raising of.
Okay. Anyone's perfect. It should be a raising of. But why? We'll come to read this. Now there's a huge knowledge, huge knowledge thing that we are going to do now. So please keep moment you feel tough, you just let me know, or else I'll not be responsible for it. 13 says the rebels demanded again. Question number 13 says rebels. This is the main subject. Demanded is the main verb. Demanded withdrawal of. This is a noun. And looks for a strict parallelism. It says releasing, the releasing of, or the release of political prisoners. So the releasing is also a noun. Releasing of is also noun. Release of is also noun. Tell me what should happen. What should be the right one? It should be releasing, or it should be the releasing of, or it should be the release of. Please tell.
The release of.
Perfect.
The release of, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, release of, I think.
So now to answer that question, there's a huge thing that we need to understand. So please now guys, please keep your mind open because these are the places where people go literally mad. It says a note about ing form. It says these form confuses student as they can be used in many ways. Now onward, there will be never any confusion with ing form. Please understand. Ing form can be used only in three ways. It can be only three things. Either it can be a verb first, or it can be an adjective, or it can be a noun. So there is nothing to be confused with ing form, guys. It can be either a verb or an adjective or a noun. There is also a fourth usage of ing form. It can be used as adverbial modifier. We'll come down to this adverbial modifier wala part. But just for now, don't think about adverbial modifier. Just think that ing form can be a verb, can be adjective, can be a noun. I swear, if these understandings are clear to you, you will never ever be trapped in sentence correction. So one thing, simple logic. ing form alone can never be a verb. How much ever it challenges your own knowledge, it challenges your own perspective, but you have to believe on this. That's as simple as it is. You can't challenge this at all. ing form alone can never be a verb. You have to understand this very well. If it can't be a verb, what it can be? It can either be adjective or a noun. Tell me, what is the definition of adjective, by the way? Now again, you can take any type of adjectives in the world. It doesn't matter at all. The definition of adjective is something that describes noun. That's it. There is no other definition. There is no other definition of adjective that exists in this world. Adjective are something that describes noun. That's it. Story over then and there. Nothing else at all. So imagine if I have to say very brilliant and very extravagant, Jay got into Harvard. Very brilliant and very extravagant, comma, Jay got into Harvard. If an American writes this sentence, let's say they have to write a sentence that Apurva got into Harvard. So American will 100% write very brilliant, comma, very extravagant and very intelligent, comma, Apurva got into Harvard. But what that mean? Very brilliant, very extravagant, very intelligent. What is this? This is nothing but an adjective, something that is describing a noun. So if you remove adjective from the sentence and write the complete sentence, it will still make a complete sense, because adjective is nothing but it describes noun. Now let's come with the perspective of the question. Please understand, ing form alone can never be a verb. How much ever tempting it looks to you, that doesn't matter at all. It will not be a verb. Simple logic.
Rahul, what do you mean exactly by this? Like ing form
I'll come down to this point. I'll explain you with the examples completely. Now let me come down to the examples and only then you will understand. Now it says, now let's read one by one thing. What I've told you, ing form can be only three things. Either it can be a verb or an adjective or a noun. What I've told you, ing form alone can never be a verb. So our first trade is ing form used as a verb. Now imagine an ing form alone can never be a verb. Now this is one line which you have to read it, which I will also tell you 100 times in the class, but you will still confuse in this. Now to be a part of a verb, an ing form must be accompanied by some sort of a helping verb. That is ing, was ing, am ing, are ing, were ing, has been ing, have been ing. Now imagine when I say he is running. See here, Haran. He is running. So is running is what? Is running is a verb. Running alone is not a verb. Please be very sure. That's what I'm telling you. I'll come down to the part. What do I mean? ing form alone is not a verb. I'll explain it very clearly. But when I say here, he is running, it means is running is a verb. If ing form has to be a verb, it should be accompanied by some sort of a helping verb. That is ing, was ing, am ing, are ing, were ing, has been ing. When I say he is running is a verb. But now, guys, it does not mean that everything of is plus ing is always a verb. Be very sure about it. Leave this. This is a stupid sentence. All he needs is training. Can I ask you a question? What he needs? And the answer is training. It means training is a noun. The verb is his. Simple logic. His main problem is drinking. Can I ask you a question? What is his main problem? You will say drinking. So drinking is a noun. Is a verb. But can you ask a question over here? Anything? Now don't include your own word, what he is doing. That is not. In case of he is running, can you actually ask a question what he is doing? No, there is no question that you can ask. Doing is your own word. Don't bring your own words here. When I say all he needs is training, I can ask a question what he needs. Your answer is training. So training is a noun. It is not a verb. His main problem is drinking. What is his main problem? Drinking. So that's a noun, not a verb. Here I can't ask a question. So he is running is a verb. So this is ing form used as a verb. I'll come down to your point, Harin. Don't worry. Now see here, ing form used as a noun. Check. Now imagine running is a good exercise. You can directly ask a question, what is a good exercise? You will have running. So this is a noun. But don't ask this. Do the basic check. What I have told you, ing form alone can never ever be a verb. So can I 100% say this is not a verb? Tell me. Can I 100% say this is not a verb? And if this is not a verb, this can either be adjective or a noun now. And what do you mean by adjective? Something that describes noun. If you remove adjective from the sentence and read the sentence, it should make a complete sense to you. Imagine if I remove running and read this sentence, is a good exercise. Do you feel that this is a sentence at all? This is 100% a fragmented sentence, right? And that's the reason I come down to a conclusion that running is a noun. Guys, please tell me, is there any problem over here? When I say the remaking of capitalism is called for, you can actually ask a question, what is called for remaking of capitalism? So you can say this is a noun, but please understand, do the basic checks. So remaking, what I've told you, ing form alone can never ever be a verb. So this is not a verb. If this is not a verb, it can either be adjective or a noun. Simple logic. Now imagine adjective, what I've told you about adjective, that if you remove adjective and read the sentence should make complete sense. Imagine if I remove the remaking, what is my sentence left here? Anyone? What is my sentence? If I remove remaking?
It doesn't make sense. Like capitalism is called for.
So, but what is the sentence?
Capitalism is called for. Like,
It is
so-
making a complete sense. The capitalism is called for. Why it is not making a sense?
Because there is an off.
Brilliant. Imagine. Say the books of Rahul are beautiful. See here. The books of Rahul are beautiful. Imagine if I remove the books, don't you feel of Rahul by default goes off? Because books of Rahul is what? A reference point for books. So if I remove remaking, of capitalism by default goes off, because of capitalism is nothing but a part of remaking. It's a reference point to remaking. So when there is no books, of Rahul by default will not exist over here. What is the purpose of Rahul? It is just to denote book. This book belongs to Rahul. That's it. Of Rahul has got no part in the main clause of the sentence, main part of the sentence. The sentence is the books are beautiful. So if you remove the books, of Rahul by default goes off, because of Rahul was a reference point to books. If I remove remaking, of capitalism by default goes off, so my sentence is left as is called for, which would make no sense at all. It means the remaking is a noun, because a sentence can't be a sentence without a noun and a verb. So this is a noun. Now imagine, there's some very beautiful example over here. Being an American was an advantage for him in the home country. What was an advantage? Being an American. And if I remove being an American, so what is my sentence? Was an advantage for him in the home country. So 100% you can't remove being an American, because if you remove being an American, the entire sentence collapses. So being an American here is noun. But imagine here, being an American, C enjoyed certain privileges in Canada. Now imagine in place of C, there should be some name. You can't write he, C and all. But it's a generalized thing. So being an American, imagine I say Ritu enjoyed certain privileges in Canada. Now, if you remove being an American from here, what is the sentence? Ritu enjoyed certain privileges in Canada. So this is absolutely perfectly fine statement. So please understand, being an American here is an adjective that is referring to Ritu. See. But so even if you remove here, even if you remove being an American, the sentence is completely, absolutely making a full sense. Ritu enjoyed certain privileges in Canada. Absolutely, perfectly, it is making sense. So being an American is an adjective over here, that if I remove this being an American, your sentence makes a complete sense. It means it's an adjective. But if you remove being an American from here, check in this sentence, is it making any sense? Was an advantage for him in the home country. It's making no sense at all. So being an American here is a noun. Is this clear? Please tell. Is this clear, Abhishek?
It's sort of clear, but a little confusing also.
No, until we don't do questions, Gauri, it won't happen. We'll come down to the questions. Don't worry at all. Just give me 2 classes and the entire theory I'll implement in the question. And that's the place things will be very clear. Jay, is this clear? Manan?
Yeah.
Manan?
Yeah, it's clear.
Irshad? So see here. Now, what we read was ing form used as a noun. We have already read ing form used as a verb. Guys, there are too many things in this class right now. I don't know how many of you all have studied. Well, I'm going very slow. Trust me, I'm going very slow. If there is any doubt, you please tell me. Because if you don't clear it, again, you go and read by yourself, you will still be in the same doubt. So any doubt, any moment, just tell me. And this needs to be understood very properly, because if you don't understand ing form, and you understand this, and you will definitely instantly realize that how much wrong you write. How much wrong you write, you will instantly realize it. So this is not with respect to GMAT at all. It is with respect to your own writing, because you have to write your essays and also for the college. So you have to keep everything under the consideration. So ing form used as a verb, it's very clear. It's simple, means ing form alone can never be a verb. How much ever tempting it is looking to you that it's a verb, it will not be a verb. And I'll clear it very quickly in a lot of examples. Ing form used as a noun, I have cleared it for sure, because if you remove this, the entire sentence will collapse. Now come down to ing form used as an adjective. So imagine the resulting temperature was high. How much ever tempting it's looking to you, it's a verb. What I've told you, ing form alone can never be a verb. So it can never be a verb. Be very sure. And if this is not a verb, it can either be adjective or a noun. Simple logic. Because for ing form to be a verb, it should be accompanied by some sort of a helping verb. He is running. He is walking. He is cooking. So is cooking is a verb. Please understand, alone cooking is one of her hobby. So when I say cooking is one of her hobby or one of his hobby, so cooking is a noun over here. Understand, a word can be used as a noun, the same word can be used as an adjective, the same word can be used as a verb. You have to be very, very cautious when you are understanding this. So when I say the result, but one thing is for sure, ing form alone can never be a verb. Time and again, I'm telling you, and I'm also promising you right now that you will do the same mistake while solving the question. The resulting temperature was high. Resulting can never be a verb. If it is not a verb, it can either be adjective or a noun. And what we have learned about adjective, that if we remove this and read the sentence and it is making a complete sense, it means this is an adjective. Now you remove this and read the temperature was high. This is an absolutely perfect sense. It's making a complete sense. It means the resulting is an adjective that is referring to temperature. Adjective, what is the meaning of adjective? That it describes now. That's it. Nothing else at all. Whatever type of adjective you bring front of me, it does not matter. Adjective means it describes noun. That's it. If you remove, so a description of noun is never a core part of the sentence. Imagine I write a sentence, Ullash, comma, very brilliant and very brilliant and very intelligent, comma, got into Harvard. Now my main sentence is Ullash got into Harvard, very brilliant and very intelligent. These are all crap. These are nothing but describing Ullash. So adjectives are something which is used to make the sentence meaning-wise much more beautiful, more clearer, but it is not the core part of the sentence, because by definition it says adjective describes noun. So description of noun can't be the core part of the sentence. The core part of the sentence has to be the entire verb, what is exactly the meaning it is trying to say, what action he is doing. That is the core part of the sentence. So resulting is nothing but an adjective which is referring to temperature, because if I remove resulting, I know that ing form alone can never be a verb. I know that if I remove adjective and read the sentence, it should make a complete sense. It is actually making a complete sense. Now, adjective is used before the noun. In the second statement, see here, the temperature resulting from the warming was high. Moment you see this resulting, how much ever tempting it looks to you, it's a verb. Please understand from now onward, ing form alone are never a verb. So this is not a verb. And if this is not a verb, this can either be adjective or noun. If I remove resulting, so from the warming is nothing but a part of resulting. Read the question now said statement. The temperature was high. This is absolutely perfect statement. It means the resulting is an adjective. So this is ing form used as an adjective. Again, I'm telling you what we have read. Ing form used as a verb we have read. Ing form used as a noun we have read. Ing form used as an adjective we have read. But you have to go and study all by yourself, guys. The entire purpose of doing this entire handout is just to tell you how should you be reading this document. Now, ing form used as an adjectival modifier. Don't have to get into so deep meaning and all. You can't, ing form used as a modifier, that's more than sufficient, not adjectival modifier. Now, imagine when I write this statement, looking at the baby's picture, she said that she also wanted a baby. You can't write C, you have to write some name. Let's say Ritu said that she wanted a baby. So what is looking at the baby's picture trying to do over here? Tell me. This is nothing but trying to describe Ritu. Even if you remove the sentence, complete sense, and read the entire statement, Ritu said that she also wanted a baby. This is an absolutely perfect clause. It's a perfect statement. I hope it's clear. Anyone, any doubt? So guys, please understand, if a word refers to a noun, they call it as an adjective. If more than one word refers to a noun, they call it as a modifier. But do not confuse between modifier and adjective. It is eventually the same thing. The meaning is same. When one word refers to a noun, they give the name as an adjective. When 3 or 4 words refers to a noun, they call it as a modifier. Simple logic. So modifier and adjective are not two different things. These are eventually the same thing. You are trying to describe noun. Modifier means what? Modifying noun. That's it. Modifying noun means some adjective you are trying to modify your noun. That's not the core part of the sentence. We are just trying to describe the noun. So when I say looking at the baby's picture is nothing but trying to describe Ritu here. Ritu said that she also wanted a baby. This is a perfect clause. Looking at the baby's picture is not, it's just trying to create a situation, scenario that it is trying to describe Ritu. That Ritu said that she also wanted a baby. How? By she was looking into pictures and all. So this is not the main part of the clause. This is called modifier. I hope I made a complete sense over here. So please understand one thing. When you write modifier, when you write your own modifier, when you write your own sentence, always remember first write modifier and then put comma and then write the subject to what that modifier is modifying. This is 90% of time modifiers are written in this way. First modifier, like very brilliant and intelligent, Gauri got into Harvard. So very brilliant and very intelligent, comma, Gauri got into Harvard. The actual clause is Gauri got into Harvard. Very brilliant, very intelligent. This is crap. This is nothing but just trying to describe Gauri. Agreed? So this is how Americans write their sentences, and you should write sentences in this way only. You can't say simply someone, Gauri got into Harvard. Dude, Harvard is a big place to be in. When you are writing something that this person or this individual has got into Harvard, try to describe that guy. That he was very brilliant. He was a university gold medalist, university topper, comma, XYZ got into Harvard. So it is referring to XYZ. We usually don't tend to write this. We simply say, he got into Harvard, he got into Harvard, but that's not the way. Because it's a very prestigious college, Harvard, Stanford, whatsoever. So you should always try and describe him. This ensures that it embellishes your sentence very beautifully. The role of an adjective is nothing but to embellish your sentence, to make your sentence very beautiful, very clear meaning-wise. That's it. Agreed? Any doubt over here? Now, it comes to, so I've told you, always write first modifier, then the subject. This is the only way of writing the sentence. Now see here. The captain resented cuts and endorsement, comma, fuming at every suggestion given by chairman of the board. What is this trying to do? This is nothing but, this is a modifier which is trying to modify the captain. And what I have told you normally how it should be written, first you should write modifier, fuming at every suggestion given by chairman of the board, comma, the captain resented cuts and endorsement. This should be the actual way of writing the sentence. But what they are trying to say, you even this style of writing is not wrong. This is also okay. Is that very clear? Any doubt? Please tell me. Any doubt over here? I have told you that first you should write modifier, fuming at every suggestion given by chairman of the board, comma. Now, what is this trying to modify? This is trying to modify the captain. Now, write a statement, the captain resented cuts and endorsement. That's absolutely perfectly fine. That is a normal way of writing modifier. But what they're trying to say to you over here, that this is also okay. This is not wrong. But now when you write these type of sentences, there are few things that you need to understand it very well. Please understand one thing, that ing form after comma never refers to the immediately preceding noun or subject. Ing form after comma never refers to immediately preceding subject. Now at this place, you can 100% tell me, yeah, Rahul, do you think we are fool? I know that endorsement can't fume, it is only captain who is fuming. Now, this is a sentence where it is very easy to say you, but imagine if the sentence is, the captain scolded Rahul. The captain scolded Rahul. Imagine this is the sentence. Now, please tell me, at this place, also fuming is going back to captain only. Fuming, because Rahul is an eligible noun to fume. But the rule says that ing form after comma never refers to the immediately preceding subject. Now, the actual sentence was endorsement. Now, you very well know that endorsement can't fume. You very well know that. And I'm telling you that, and obviously it is going back. But the sentence could be this also, captain scolded Rahul. Now, Rahul is an eligible noun to fume. But please understand, ing form after comma never refers to the immediately preceding subject. So even if the clause is the captain scolded Rahul, fuming at every suggestion to fuming still goes back to the captain. And that's the reason it is told that first write modifier, fuming at every suggestion given by chairman of the board, comma, the captain. Now you create whatever clause you want to create, but this is very clear it is going back to the captain. I hope I'm making a complete sense. Anyone, please tell me. Anyone not following, please tell. Jay,
Everything's clear.
Yeah, it's
Jay,
clear.
Ulash, Manan, is this clear?
Clear, sir, clear.
Because this is very important, very, very important, I'm telling you.
It's
Because
clear.
if these things are not clear, solving questions will become tough, guys. And that I don't want. Because when we are solving questions, I want to ensure that I'll tell you everything. How should you implement these logics while solving the question? So this should be very, very clear. Now, come down to adverbial modifier. So I have in fact made very clear one thing, 2, 3 things. So now you are very clear with ing form used as a verb. You just know that ing form alone can never be a verb. Ing form used as a noun. You just have to do all those sorts of permutation combination to get it as noun. Ing form used as an adjective. It's very clear. Ing form used as a modifier. This is also very clear. Now come down to adverbial modifier. Something which is really, really important. Please tell me, first of all, tell me what is adverb, by the way? Something you add to a verb. Matlab something that modifies verb. Adverb means add something to the verb, something that modifies verb. And verb is what? Action. And action is what? The entire clause. Agreed? So please understand now, what do you mean by adverbial modifier? When I say the firm investor invested unwisely for 3 consecutive years. When I say the firm investor invested for unwisely for 3 consecutive years, leading to the complete collapse of bank. What is leading going back to? Anyone? Tell me.
The investing.
Do you think investing led to the collapse of bank? Or remember one example, I think to few people I must have told you. Imagine a simple example, the bank crashed. And it led a lot of people to lose money. Lot of people to lose money. Tell me, is this a right sentence? Or you will say the bank crashed, comma, leading a lot of people to lose money.
Comma leading is correct.
Second one is correct.
Second one, right? Why?
Yeah.
Because please understand, first of all, understand, don't you feel this is a cause and effect situation? Let's understand verse very naturally and then we'll go to the grammar rule. Whenever a sentence comes which denotes a cause and effect, or there is no way to understand how it is a cause and effect. You have to read it and you have to understand it by yourself. Don't you feel this is a cause and effect situation, by the way? What do you mean by cause and effect? The cause is bank crash. What is the effect? Led a lot of people to lose money. Always remember, in cause and effect situation, effects always starts with ing form. So if you write this sentence, the bank crashed and it led a lot of people to lose money. If you're a CEO of a company, this one line is more than sufficient for your resignation. They'll straight away take you out from the office. What the hell? This is giving you, this is the most disaster meaning sentence that you can ever write in your life. What you are trying to say here, the bank crashed and it led a lot of people. It as a pronoun is because it is a pronoun. And what we have learned definition of a pronoun, that it should go back to a noun. So here it is going back to a bank. Now you are trying to say me a sentence ki bank crashed and bank led a lot of people to lose money. This is absolutely crap. Bank didn't lead a people to lose money. It was a crash in bank that led a people to lose money. So leading, as the word is going back to the entire clause, that it was a crash in bank that was responsible for a people to lose money. It was not bank led a people to lose money. So writing it led a lot of people to lose money, or that led a lot of people to lose money, or which led a lot of people to lose money is wrong. You have to understand the structure of sentence will be the bank crashed, comma, leading a lot of people to lose money. So now come over here. It says the firm investor invested unwisely for 3 consecutive years. Don't you feel this is a cause and effect situation? And what was the effect? Complete collapse of bank. So leading is 100% fine over here. And this leading is going back to the entire clause. So adverbial modifier means what? Something that goes back to the entire clause. It is not going back to one specific noun. It was not investor that led to the collapse of bank. It was not investment that led to the collapse of bank. It was an unwise investment done by investor which led to the collapse of bank. So leading is going back to the entire clause. So please understand, guys, one thing. 90% of the time, ing form after comma goes back to the entire clause. I do say 90%. It's just that tomorrow you don't come and argue with me, ki Rahul, you have told 100%. But when I say you 90%, it means almost 99% of the time for sure. Now imagine, Now, when I read this sentence, the captain resented cuts and engrossment, fuming at every suggestion. Now it's very clear that it is captain who is fuming. The entire clause can't fume. Think about it now. The entire clause can't fume. And again, I'm telling you, modifiers, the way modifiers are written, first modifier and then the subject, and you create your own clause, whatever you want to. But ing form after comma, 90% of the time goes back to the entire clause. And this is nothing but it is called as an adverbial modifier. It was an unwise investment done by investor that led to the collapse of bank. It is not investor that led to the collapse of bank. It was a crash in bank that led a lot of people to lose money. It was not a bank. You can't say it led a lot of people to lose money. It goes back to a bank. Bank didn't lead people to lose money at all. I hope it made some sense. Now come down to this. Just for question number 12 and 13, imagine how much.
Rahul, one
Yeah.
second. You just
Please tell me.
the captain resented at the cuts. Can you just explain this once more?
The captain resented cuts and engrossment, right? Now
Yeah.
there's a comma and they are saying he's fuming at every suggestion given by chairman of the board. Who was fuming?
The captain was fuming.
Captain, right? So this is just a modifier which is trying to modify the captain. That's it.
Okay.
So all I'm trying to say, it's always better first write modifier, then put a comma and then write the subject and do whatever clause you want to create. So this sentence would have been much better in a way if fuming at every suggestion given by chairman of the board, comma, the captain resented cuts and engrossment. But all they are trying to say, even this way of writing is not wrong. This is also okay.
Okay.
They are
Got it.
trying to say you this. That's it. But ing form after comma, guys, ensure that 90% of the time it goes back to the entire clause. It should be very clear. Now come down to these examples. So please, when you are reading this book and these many examples are given, it is your job to go and read everything. It is given for a certain purpose. You're not supposed, like, I can't go ahead and read everything. I'll just show you 2, 3. But it is your job that go and read and ensure that everything is a noun. Because they are trying to say fishing is a noun. Fishing is fun. Now please understand, fishing alone can never be a verb. Simple logic. How much ever tempting it looks to you, ing form alone is not a verb. You have to understand ing form can be 3 things: verb, adjective, noun. Ing form after comma, 90% of the time are adverbial modifiers. But ing form can be only 3 things: noun, adjective, verb. So fishing is not a verb. If this is not a verb, it can either be adjective or a noun. When you remove this and read the sentence, is fun, makes no sense. So this is not an adjective, this is noun. So please ensure everything you have to read and you have to make a sense out of yourself that this is a noun. Don't simply read 2, 3 lines because I can't go and do everything. You have to read for yourself. Imagine pointless questioning makes me 6. Now I can ask a question, what makes you 6? Pointless questioning. Pointless is nothing but an adjective for questioning. So questioning is a noun for sure. You can ask me what makes me 6? Questioning. So this is a noun. But it's always better that do a very basic check. I know that ing form alone can never be a verb. So questioning is not a verb. If this is not a verb, this can either be adjective or a noun. And if I remove this questioning, makes me sick, makes no sense at all. So questioning is a noun. So please, guys, cooking is one of our hobby. What is one of our hobby? Cooking. You can go and do a very basic check that cooking alone cannot be a verb. If it is not a verb, it can either be adjective or a noun. If you remove cooking, is one of our hobby, makes no sense at all. So cooking is a noun. So please ensure, read everything. If it is mentioned, if it is given to you over here, it is given with some sort of a aspect that you have to read it. You simply can't read 2, 3 lines and move on. Please ensure this document is very important. Imagine, now focus on the sentence. Tracking satellite accurately is important for a space agency. What is important? Tracking satellite accurately. So tracking is a noun. I can 100% say this alone cannot be a verb at all. And if this is not a verb, this can either be adjective or a noun. If I remove tracking and read the sentence, see, is the sentence making a sense? Satellites accurately is important for a space agency. What the hell you mean by satellite accurately is important for a space agency? It is tracking satellite accurately, right? So this is a noun. The settling of debt is called for. What is called for? Settling of debt. So this is a noun. If you remove settling of debt, by default goes off. Is called for, makes no sense at all. So this is 100% a noun. It can't be a verb at all because ing form alone can never be a verb. 100 times, 1000 times I'll tell you, but I promise when you do the question, you will do the same mistake. You will consider that as a verb, you will mark your answer, and it will be a wrong answer. The clearing of forest is a bad idea. What is a bad idea? Clearing of forest. So this is a noun. The making of Titanic was aired. What was aired? Making of Titanic. So this is a noun. The accurate tracking of satellite is important for the space agency. What is important? Accurate tracking of satellite. So this is a noun. Accurate is adjective for tracking. So tracking of satellites. So this is a noun. Now, guys, come down to question number 12. So question number 12 says what? That rebels demanded withdrawal of government forces. This is noun. Significant reductions. This is noun. Raising. This is noun and a general pardon. But they are trying to say that raising is wrong. They are trying to say raising off is right. We'll come down to the logic. Don't worry. Now, this is question number 13. Question number 13 is trying to say the rebels demanded withdrawal of government forces. So this is a noun. And releasing certain political prisoners. This is noun. The rebel demanded withdrawal of government forces. This is noun. And releasing of, this is noun. But all are wrong. They are trying to say the rebels demanded withdrawal of government forces and release of certain political prisoners. So this is right. So please, guys, now I think you have understood what is standard noun. I'll just come to now to the conclusion. Always remember, if there is a standard noun available in the sentence, that is always and always preferred to ing of noun. Ing of noun is always preferred to ing noun. Please understand, there is a grammatical term given for ing of noun, and ing nouns are called gerunds. I don't use all these names and all, but you should understand gerund means nothing but ing form of a noun. That's it. Or ing of form of a noun. But the logic says that if there is a standard noun that is available, you should always prefer standard noun. If a standard noun is not available, you should prefer ing of noun. If this is not available, you should prefer ing noun. And our job is not to create the sentence right now. Our job is to just ensure that we are in position to identify or scan the answer choices properly. Now imagine, in question number 13, release of is a right statement because release of is a standard noun. And that is available. Releasing off and releasing is not a standard noun. In question number 12, raising off and raising. Why it is raising off? Because please understand, raise as a word is not a noun. So you can't use raise off flag. Raise as a word is a verb, raise flag. So there are sometimes, like imagine when I say eat food. The word eat is what? It's a verb. This is not a noun. When I ask you to read a book, what is the word read? This is a verb. This is not a noun. So if at all you want to use eat as a word as a noun, you have to use eating of a healthy food is a good habit. You can't say eat of a healthy food is a good habit because eat as a word is a verb. It's not a noun at all. So please understand, in question number 13, there is a standard noun available to us, release of. So we prefer that. Releasing and releasing off will not be preferred. Why? Because standard noun is available. In question number 12, there is no standard noun called raise. So I have to go with the raising off, and raising off will be preferred to raising. I hope I made some sense. So it says that noun is parallel to noun, is parallel to ing of noun, and is parallel to ing noun. So all the nouns are parallel to each other. But while you are choosing the answer choices, standard noun is always preferred to ing of noun and is always preferred to ing noun. Now imagine, this is a question that we are doing. See here. Doctors generally agree that such factor as cigarette smoking. What is smoking? This is a noun because there is no word called smoke. Smoke cigarette. The smoke is a verb. Please understand, this is not a noun. So doctors generally agree that factors such as cigarette smoking, eating rich foods high in fat. What is eating? Noun. And requires a strict parallelism. Whenever you see word and or but, it requires a strict parallelism. Now you have said cigarette smoking, noun, eating rich fat, and alcohol consumption. So please understand, if you do consuming alcohol, you are doing a disaster. Because alcohol consumption is a standard noun that is available to you. So you can't say consuming. You cannot say, Rahul, it is smoking over here, it is eating over here, so it should be alcohol consuming or consuming of alcohol. That will be crap. Because there is a standard noun available called consumption. There is no standard noun of smoking. There is no standard noun of eating because eat as a word is a verb. It's not a noun. So I have to go with smoking. I have to go with eating. But between consuming and consumption, I'll write consumption because consumption is a standard noun that is available to me. Why should I go for consuming? If at all there is a standard noun available, you should go with the standard noun. That's a simple plain rule. Agreed? So doctors generally agree that factors such as cigarette smoking, eating rich foods, and alcohol consumption not only do damage by themselves, but also aggravate predisposition towards certain diseases. Here, three factors are perfectly parallel. Cigarette smoking, noun. Eating rich foods, noun. And alcohol consumption, this is noun. They are all parallel because they are all nouns. So in parallelism, noun is parallel, standard noun is parallel to ing of noun, is parallel to ing noun. All you should understand that they are all nouns. That's it. So they are all parallel because they are all noun. As far as the choice between consumptions and consuming goes, please understand, if you are ever given a choice between a dedicated noun form of an action and a corresponding gerund form of an action, you should always prefer the dedicated noun form. Be very sure about it. Imagine, every year the running of Boston Marathon attracts thousands of spectators. What do you mean by the running? What is running off over here? It is 100% a noun. First of all, understand it can never ever be verb, because ing form alone are not a verb. If this is not a verb, it can either be noun or adjective. Imagine if I remove the running of Boston Marathon, by default goes off. Now my sentence becomes what? Every year attracts hundreds of thousands of spectators. Crap. So running off is a noun. Please understand, running off is a noun. Now imagine people running the Boston Marathon are generally in a very good physical shape. I 100% know how much ever tempting it looks to you, this is a verb. Please close your eyes and think this is not a verb, because ing form alone can never be a verb. And if this is not a verb, this can either be adjective or a noun. So there is already a noun people. So this is 100% adjective, because even if you remove running, the Boston Marathon is a part of range. So even if you remove this and read the sentence, people are generally in a very good physical shape. This is absolutely perfectly fine. So running, here the running is adjective. Imagine, the performing of certain dance move requires years of practices. Grammatically perfectly fine statement. The performance of certain dance move requires years of practices. Grammatically very perfect statement. Have you ever told that Rahul, performing of my sister was very good? Or you always say, Rahul, the performance of my sister or brother was very good. You will never say, Rahul, performing of my friend in the Olympiad or anywhere was very good. Have you ever said this statement? Think about it. But though this statement is grammatically 100% fine, why not? Performing is also a noun. But why you have never said? Because there is a standard noun available to you, that is performance of certain, like performance of my sister was very good, Rao, or performance of my brother in some Olympiad was very good. You never say performing of your brother and performing of your sister. So sometime it happened that you use the correct thing, but you don't know why you have used it. The performance is a standard noun. So you will never use the word performing. You might have used such words a lot of time in your life, and you must have used performance only. Though performing is also a noun, and which is a correct noun. Grammatically, it is fine. But why you don't use it? Because standard nouns are always preferred. You always use standard noun. Always. If a standard noun is not available in case of split bills. Now, split bills is a verb. If you want to use it as a noun, you will have to use splitting of bill is a good habit. So there are some word where we don't have a standard noun for those words. In that case, we go with ing off form and ing form. But if a standard noun is available, you will go with the standard noun itself. That's all. So here people performing certain dance move. Now again, it's pretty simple. Ing form alone are never a verb. So performing is not a verb. If it is not a verb, it can either be adjective or a noun. There is already a noun, people performing, people. So this is 100% the adjective. Even you remove this and read people dance move extremely skillfully often appears to be exerting less effort, then they really are. This is absolutely perfectly fine statement. I hope now it makes sense, because when you come to question number 12, it says the rebel demanded withdrawal of government forces. Noun. Significant reductions in overall troop level. Noun. Raising in the raising off is noun, but raising off will be preferred. Ing off is preferred to ing. So this is a noun, because there is no standard noun called raise. Raise as a word is a verb. Raise flag. That's not a noun. And it looks for a parallelism. General pardon. This is a noun. So the concept of gerund. Gerund is nothing but ing form of a noun are called gerund. So imagine a sentence. Reading this book took me 3 hours. Acceptable sentence? Reading of this book took me 3 hours. Acceptable sentence? But can you say the read of this book took me 3 hours? No, because the word read is not a noun, it's a verb. So please say here, so sometime guys, we don't have a choice. It means what? We don't have a standard noun available for the words. Sometimes we don't have a choice. So we have to use ing and ing off form of a noun, as there is no noun called such as read. Read as a word is a verb. Now imagine a sentence. Studying this book took me 3 hours. Acceptable sentence? Studying of this book took me 3 hours. Acceptable sentence? The study of this book took me 3 hours. Acceptable sentence. So here we have a standard noun. So I'll always and always prefer standard noun. So what it says, rules in GMAT. If there is a choice between a gerund, that is ing of noun or ing of noun, and a standard noun, always prefer standard noun. If there is a choice between ing and ing of noun, always prefer ing of noun. So in terms of parallelism, a standard noun can be parallel to another standard noun. A standard noun can be parallel to ing of noun. A standard noun can be parallel to ing noun. Ing of noun can be parallel to ing noun. It means what? All the nouns are parallel to each other. Now let it be a standard noun, let it be ing of noun, let it be ing noun. It's not about not preferred and all. Because just we did now, just we made parallelism between what? Alcohol consumption, this is a standard noun. Alcohol consumption, this is parallel to cigarette smoking and eating. They are parallel to each other because they are all nouns. So there's nothing called not preferred and all. Because we are not supposed to create our sentence, we are supposed to just analyze the statement. And that's the reason in question number 12, raising off is a right noun. In question number 13, release off is a right noun. So this was all about noun and noun parallelism, guys. So the next topic, what we have is an adjective and adjective parallelism, which we'll read in the next class, because if I do it now with you, you will literally go mad. You will just go, your entire mind will swing up. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah, because it's gonna be a very challenging to study noun and adjective at the same time. But yeah, I promise, guys, it will be very, very fine. So it's very easy for me, you know what, to directly go into the question and give you a lot of philosophies. This is how you should do question, that is how you should do question, but that doesn't work at all. These are the normal thing, very basic thing, which should be known to you. And please understand, the way of reading this is you can never try to mug it up anything. Please don't do that at all. Your simple job, I have explained you something right now. There's some understanding for sure, but you read this document 5 times, 6 times, and don't read in one shot. Today you read 10 to 20, tomorrow you read 20 to 30, tomorrow you read 10, 1 to 10. You read this multiple times, all of a sudden everything will be in your head. But if you read with this intention that I'm going to remember it, it is practically impossible that you will be able to do it. You be how brilliant you are, it doesn't matter at all. But what we have done right now is no grammar rule. Parallelism is no grammatical rule. Parallelism is all concept. That if before and or but you are using noun, you should use noun. If you're using adjective, you should using adjective. Because I can promise you, parallelism is such a beautiful concept to eliminate the answer. You have no idea. When we do the question, you will get to know. But yes, this is the bare minimum thing that should be known to you. I understand for some of you who has not read this, it might be tough, but this needs to be done, guys. Simple logic. It needs to be done. It will be only done when you read it time and again. You don't have to at all. Don't put in your head that I need to remember all these things. It will never happen. Your job is simple. Just read it. That's it. Don't think how much you have got, how much you have not got. Just try and understand when you are reading it. That's it. And you read it 5. If you listen to me, if your time permits, you should 100% read it once in a week for sure. How much of a busy you are, it doesn't matter at all. But you should read it once in a week, because see, you have to be very strategic while preparing for verbal. You just cannot go, okay, Rahul, I'll do good in everything. First, you make ensure that sentence correction is very good. Have a good command in one topic in verbal. I promise all other topic will be fine for you. That's a straightforward promise from my end that I can promise you. Just ensure next 1 month we are going to give to sentence correction. It's too much of time. Time and again, I'm telling. But if you people don't read, it will be a problem. You have to read it. And I'm not even telling you to read with the intention that you have to remember it. No, nothing. You just read it. Read it, try and understand. That's it. Do not try to mug it up. Do not try to remember, because till we start solving question, it will be very tough for you to even understand how should we be using it. So right now your job is simple. Just read and understand whatever is written. Nothing else at all. For next week, we'll finish almost question number 14 to question number 43 for sure. Because after question number 20, it's plain rules. Whatever concept is there is question number 10 to 20. After question number 20, it's plain rules. We can easily finish it in easily from 1.5 hours. We can finish the entire stuff. No big deal at all. Pretty simple one. But your job right now is to 100% go ahead and read it time and again. Read this. So next class in essay rules, I'll just tell you, in essay rules, we'll try to finish question number 14 to question number 43. I want that you go and read the entire document, because question number 20 onward, it's pretty easy. Whatever concept is involved is question number 10 to 20. And question number 14 is again a very important one, that is adjective and adjective parallelism. Once you understand that, it should not be an issue at all. So your homework is, I'll be sending you the videos of today's class, but your job is 100% to go and read till question number 14 to 43. please minimum, I would say read till 50. But if at all you have no time, at least read till 43 for sure. Because question number 20 onward, it's very fun also, very normal stuff, nothing to worry about. But question number 10 to 20, you should read it time and again. So in next class, we'll discuss question number 14 to 43. In maths, in quant section, we'll be discussing inequalities ka question. So in inequalities, what we have done is a theory part. We have not done question. So obviously, it will be hard for you to understand how to approach it. But before we discuss in the class and next class, please ensure that try to cover up the entire inequality question. Do it. Let it take as much time as it can. Do not worry how much time you are taking. All your botheration should be if at all you get the answer or close to answer, it's fine. Try to understand question itself. That should be more than sufficient. In next class of maths, I'll be 100% making it clear. You will be extremely clear with the inequalities, like how to approach a question. And not only inequality question, in general, how to approach a data sufficiency question. It will be very clear to you. And for math and for verbal, question number 14 to 43, 100% read it, understand it. I'll activate your second videos also of SC rules. I have not activated the second videos. I've activated only video number 1, but I'll activate for all of you video number 2 as well. So please read, look into the video, understand it, and then we discuss in the class. Things will be super clear, that I promise you. And then on doing the question would make a lot of sense, or else simply doing question would make no sense at all.
Rahul, there is one doubt I have.
Yeah, please tell.
When you say ing is noun or adjective, can you please scroll back to the question?
Which number?
Just scroll up. I'll let you know. Just here. Yeah, here. This one. People running the Boston Marathon are generally in very good physical shape, right? Yeah. So here you said running is an adjective, and you removed the running the Boston Marathon.
The right? Boston Marathon is a part of running, so I removed it. People are generally in a very good physical shape.
Okay.
This is absolutely perfectly making sense, right? So Harin, here you.
My question was like, how do you eliminate that this part?
Which one? Which part?
The Boston Marathon part, like.
So this is a part of running only. People, no, what are you trying to run? You will be trying to run some marathon only, no? So the Boston Marathon is a part of a running. They're just trying to indicate what are you trying to run? You run a Mumbai Marathon, which happened just last week.
Okay.
So people running the Mumbai Marathon. So the Mumbai Marathon is nothing but a part of a running. That's it. The whole point is that when you remove this, you see here the sentence is making a complete sense to you. So understand that this entire thing is an adjective. Agreed? Because
so the question was how much to remove was the basic.
It's not about how much. No, it's not about how much to remove. There could be like a adjective could be like even 10 words also. Okay. The whole point is, Harin, if you remove R, just you remove R and read the sentence. The entire sentence is gone. People generally in very good physical shape. What do you mean?
Doesn't make any sense.
So the point is, if you remove main subject and a verb from the sentence, main verb, the sentence will collapse. Except that you remove anything and the sentence makes a complete sense, it means those are adjectives. Okay. Adjective is not a single word. It could be 10 words also. Doesn't matter at all. Like looking at the baby's picture, Ritu said that she also wanted a baby. So looking at the baby's picture is all nothing but an adjective. I can remove the entire sentence and I still say that Ritu said that she wanted a baby is an absolutely perfect sentence. Right?
Okay, understood.
Here the Boston Marathon is just trying to describe the run. That's it. Because you are just trying to say what exactly are you running? People running the Mumbai Marathon, which happened last week. So I'm also a good runner. I thought of going, but I could not go. Leave it.
Okay. So guys, understood the point.
So anyway, I'm just pausing the record now. Stop recording. So I've told you very clearly as to what